Honestly though, how do you film with glasses? Because every window has put a reflection on them today. Hi BookTube, it's Erin, and I just spent the last 25 minutes walking around my house with my phone trying to find a place where the sun doesn't reflect on my glasses. And you go, Erin, there's still a massive reflection on your glasses. And what I say to that is, I know. This is the best we got. This little background with the white is the best we got. So, I apologize if I sound weird. I'm having awful allergies and I want to die. Yeah. Real quick, I just want to talk about the books that are going on or I want to be on my January TBR. So, if you did not know, there is going to be a readathon this month hosted by Booksandlala and Myreadingisodd. They're doing the buzzword readathon, and the buzzword is lie. So it's going to be lying, liar, lie. And they are doing a buddy read, which for The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager, and I really wanted to read that as well, but I just could not find a physical copy without buying a whole new one, and I just didn't really feel like doing that. Audiobooks aren't for me. Like, I'm giving them a try, but it's taking me a really long time to get through the ones that I have, so I just ultimately think I'm not going to do the read along. Even though I really want to, because those are, honestly, both of them are my favorite booktubers, but at this point in time I just don't think it's possible for me. However, I'm still going to participate and read Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. So this is a very popular book. It's about these housewives in Australia, I believe, and ultimately there's a murder. And it's about how all their lives have entangled and led to this murder at the end. I've heard only good things about this. I've heard only good things about the show that was created. I really wanted to read this. I just feel like this is not a book that I would pick up on my own. It is kind of a thriller, but I don't know, part of it is a lot contemporary, contemporary along with murder, and I'm not a contemporary person. It's not that I dislike it, it just sounds kind of boring to me, so I wouldn't pick it up the way fantasy and thrillers and horror books do. However, I'm really excited to finally give this a try because I have a feeling I am going to love it. The next book that I'm going to read for the Buzzword Readathon is Let Me Lie by Claire Mackintosh. I have not read a Claire Mackintosh book before, but I've heard that her other book, what is it, I'll Let You Go, is really good. And so I decided to pick this one up, and I believe this is about a young woman whose parents both are dead, and they have both been considered suicides, but she just cannot accept that they're suicides, and so she looks into their death and looks into the mystery that is surrounding their deaths. Ultimately, that's all I'm going to read for this readathon. If you saw my last readathon for 'Tis the Season, it didn't go super well, so I'm thinking I'm just going to give myself a break with this readathon, because to be honest, I have read a single book this January, and it was like less than 200 pages, so I'm kind of in a bad reading slump, so I'm trying not to overdo myself. So I think just these two books are what I'm going to aim to read in the time period of the readathon, which is January 14th to the 20th, I believe. I didn't say that earlier, but it's the 14th, which is a Monday, to the Sunday, which is the 20th of January. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be reading for that readathon to participate. The Let You Lie book was a book from the library, and whenever I go to the library, I have no restraint, and I always get more than one book there. So I got I Let You Go by Claire Mackintosh, which is like her most popular book. I don't know if it was her debut book or anything like that, but this is the book that everyone knows Claire Mackintosh for, and I'm just really excited to read it. Honestly, this is also a pretty big book. I want to read this one. I want to read this one first because this is the one that everyone says is really good. But with the readathon coming up, that's not going to happen. However, I do really want to read this before this needs to go back to the library pretty soon after the readathon. So yeah, I really want to finish this one this month. The last book that I got from the library was this book, which is a title. We Are Where the Nightmares Go. So this is a collection of short stories. So this is by C. Robert Cargill, I believe. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with last names. This is just a collection of short stories that are horror stories. I don't really know anything about this honestly. The reason I picked this up is because I found it on sale on Book Outlet, and I planned on buying it because I looked at the reviews, and the reviews are very good. And I saw this in the library, and my boyfriend was like, why don't you pick it up, read a couple, and see if you even like it before you buy it. So honestly, that's what I'm going to do. I'm really excited. I really like this cover. I love horror short stories. I just think there's something about the short story format that makes scary stories just exponentially better for me. If you can get in, get out, and scare me in that short, very time period, like, I'm all in. I think that's probably one of my most favorite things to read is short stories, scary stories. I just think they're super, super entertaining, and I'm really excited to give this one a try. So already my January TBR is pretty, it's very optimistic considering it's already halfway through January. But I just thought I'd introduce something that I'm going to be doing for the whole year of 2019, not just January. So for like reading goals going into 2019, I just want to read more, and I specifically want to read more things that are outside like my comfort zone. Maybe not even comfort zone, but when I did read in college, it was always the same thrillers, so I want to read things that are outside of thrillers. So I want to read more horror novels. I want to read more books that everyone else is talking about to finally know what everyone's talking about. I want to read the whole Grisha series. Catch up on A Darker Shade of Magic and B.E. Schwab and everything she's written. So going into 2019, my goals are not super explicit the way everyone else on BookTube is, to be honest. I'm still kind of figuring out what I like to read and how I'm going to challenge myself. However, I think something that's just going to be fun for me is something called the A to Z challenge. It's pretty basic. Read a book that starts with every letter of the alphabet. And I actually have a bullet journal. It's nothing fancy. But I just have a little, this is just a sticker to tell me where it is in the book. But this is just a little spread, and here it is, all the letters of the alphabet, and I'm just going to write next to it what the books I read are. So as you can tell, I've already started. So the first book that I read for the letter A is A Darker Shade of Magic by B.E. Schwab. This is a collector's edition that I unhauled from Book Outlet. I already have a video reacting to that. I'm pretty sure you know what this book is about. If you don't, it's high fantasy, I believe, and there's 4 different Londons. There's black, gray, white, and red London, and there's all different various types of magic that exist in those different worlds, and one person can travel in between all of them. Other than that, I don't really know what the plot of this book is. So going into the A to Z challenge, I don't really have a set rules. I want to go in order as best as I can, you know, read an A book, read a B book, and then go in order as much as I can. However, knowing who I am as a person, just being a mess all the time, that's probably going to bend near the end when I get frustrated and stressed out. So right now I'm going to go in order, but I'm not going to be super strict about it. I'm a big mood reader, so I'm going to read what I want when I want to, because I have no control over myself as a human being. So since I'm such a big mood reader, I feel like when my TBRs, like I don't plan to do TBRs every month because I'm a mess of a person and I'm a mood reader. So I just kind of pick up things randomly, and sometimes I put them down halfway through because I'm no longer in the mental space to finish them. So I think, but I have all these books, like I have like 70 plus books on my TBR that I bought and purchased and are in my room and I haven't read yet. So I'm going to do this A to Z challenge to kind of help guide my reading a little bit, so I get through the books that I haven't read and I do something kind of fun and creative and just something to keep in mind for the whole year. Like I said, it's not going to be anything I take super seriously. So far the only rule that I'm going to try to avoid is books that start with the and then go like The Bear and the Nightingale, which I do have. I don't, like, it technically that book starts with the and not bear, so I think I'm going to try really hard not to do that. I think in my head I gave myself only three opportunities can I do that if I cannot find a book that starts with a letter, where I can do The Bear and the Nightingale, or A Darker Shade of Magic that I kind of realized way after. A Darker Shade of Magic starts with a, but that's kind of the same realm as the, where it's not really a word, but like it is, so it's how the book starts. I don't know. I'm not going to go way into depth in this. I just thought I would let you know that this is something I'm going to be doing throughout the year, and I will do check-ins and fill-ins and see where I've gotten in a couple of months from now. But yeah, this is something I'm doing, and I think it'll just be really fun to give myself some sort of guidance when I'm picking out books that I want to read. In the same realm of giving myself guided reading, as well as picking up books that I've already bought and haven't read yet, I have given myself a TBR jar. And you're asking yourself, Erin, there are fake plants in your beehive jar. And you would be correct, because I use this as decoration and I'm really lazy. Since these are fake, by the way, I put them into this jar for safekeeping because I had a plan for them and then I never did it, and then I just kind of kept it that way. But once you take these succulents out, it's, yeah, that feels about right. Alright, don't worry, I've gathered all of them. I have all 70 plus books that I have not read, except for if I have series. So I have 2 series right now that I own the entirety of, but haven't even started yet. So for those books, I just put the first book of the series in here. I didn't write all of them out because, like, if I draw the 3rd book out and I haven't even read the first one, I don't know. I just put the first of the series so I can start it. And I'm just gonna pick another book to add to my list. That's already way too long, but, you know, optimism, I guess. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Cool. So, this little piece of paper. This is The Clockmaker's Daughter by Katie Morton. And I just got this book from my mom for Christmas, actually. And I do want to read it. I'm not disappointed that I pulled it out. That book is a little thick bitch. She's thick. She real thick. Like all the other books that I have in front of me. And I just, whew, you know? So yeah. Oh, we'll see how that plans out. Like, I'm very, very excited to read it because I heard about it and was really interested because it doesn't sound like something that I would read normally, honestly, but my mom read it to me before giving it to me for Christmas, and she loved it and adored it, and apparently my sister had read all the other Katie Morton books that she had published and loved them, so I'm excited to read it. I just hope I get to it, honestly. Alright everyone, I'm just going to be signing off now because my nose itches and I want to die all over again. But, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. That is all the books on my very ambitious January TBR. I have my Buzzword readathon books that I think are honestly most likely to get read just because of who's running the readathon and I love them and I want to participate in something that they're doing. And then probably the library books, to be honest, because whenever I have a library book, you know, there's a due date that it needs to be returned, so that gives me a little kick in the ass to get them done. So right now the likelihood of me finishing A Clockmaker's Daughter and A Darker Shade of Magic are on the low side, to be honest, but I don't know, maybe I'll surprise myself. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go so I can go sneeze and have my eyes tear up, not on camera. But everyone, thank you for watching and thank you for going on this reading journey with me. And that's it. Bye.